After the Exodus, there was one special person who was deeply affected by it and all the miracles that followed. He felt such a strong connection that he decided to come closer to the Israelite people to learn about this new nation. In this video, we will delve into a significant character from the Bible, someone who played a crucial role, Jethro. Jethro is renowned as the father-in-law of Moses, the great leader of Israel. Despite his importance, he doesn't receive much mention in the Bible. In the book of Exodus, the primary focus is on Moses. Jethro, in comparison, is a secondary character, listed after Pharaoh, Aaron, Pharaoh's daughter, Miriam, and Zipporah. Yet, Jethro's contributions are remarkable. He laid the foundation for the legal system of the Israelite people and served as Moses' advisor and confidant, making him a truly intriguing figure in history. Jethro served as one of Pharaoh's 3 advisors, alongside Job and Balaam. When Pharaoh asked them how to deal with Israel, each had a different response. Balaam recommended killing the people. Job, on the other hand, remained silent, leading to his condemnation and subsequent suffering. And Jethro, wisely, managed to escape Pharaoh's wrath. He held a significant religious position as a priest of Midian, a role of leadership among the Midianites, who were Abraham's descendants. After Sarah's passing, Abraham married Keturah, who gave birth to Midian and other sons. Like many of Abraham's descendants, the Midianites were nomadic people. They are often depicted as adversaries of Israel, dating back to when they bought Joseph from his brothers and sold him into slavery. It's important to know that the names Jethro and Reuel refer to the same character but represent different traditions. Our first introduction to Jethro takes place when Moses flees to Midian. There, he rescues the daughters of a Midianite priest who were being harassed while trying to draw water from a well. In gratitude, Moses marries one of the priest's daughters, Zipporah. Now a priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came to draw water and fill the troughs to water their father's flock. Some shepherds came along and drove them away, but Moses got up and came to their rescue and watered their flock. When the girls returned to Reuel their father, he asked them, "Why have you returned so early today?" They answered, "An Egyptian rescued us from the shepherds. He even drew water for us and watered the flock." "And where is he?" Reuel asked his daughters. "Why did you leave him? Invite him to have something to eat." Moses agreed to stay with the man, who gave his daughter Zipporah to Moses in marriage. Exodus 2 verses 16 to 21. In the later part of the story, Moses heads out into the desert to take care of his father-in-law Jethro's flock. It's interesting to note that shepherds in the Bible become significant figures, like King David. Now Moses was tending the flock of Jethro his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the far side of the wilderness and came to Horeb, the mountain of God. Exodus 3 verse 1. Moses spent 40 years living and working with the Jethro family. Then, one day, as he was tending the flock on the mountain of God, he suddenly spotted a burning bush. God reached out to Moses, introducing himself and revealing a mission, to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. After this powerful encounter, Moses accepted the task, and he approached his father-in-law to ask for permission to return to Egypt. Then Moses went back to Jethro his father-in-law and said to him, "Let me return to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive." Jethro said, "Go, and I wish you well." Exodus 4 verse 18. Even after Moses left Midian, Jethro continued to support him. He sought out Moses to learn about his God and provide valuable advice to the man chosen by God to lead the Israelites. Now Jethro, the priest of Midian and father-in-law of Moses, heard of everything God had done for Moses and for his people Israel, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. After Moses had sent away his wife Zipporah, his father-in-law Jethro received her and her 2 sons. One son was named Gershom, for Moses said, "I have become a foreigner in a foreign land," and the other was named Eleazar, for he said, "My father's God was my helper, he saved me from the sword of Pharaoh." Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, together with Moses' sons and wife, came to him in the wilderness, where he was camped near the mountain of God. Exodus 18 verses 1-5. Jethro, who was Moses' father-in-law, arrived at the camp of the Israelites along with Zipporah, Moses' wife, and their children. Moses welcomed him and recounted the miraculous events that had taken place during the Exodus from Egypt. Jethro responded by praising God and offering sacrifices together with Moses and Aaron. Jethro, who was knowledgeable about various idols and their worship, accepted the authority of God over all else. He said, "Praise be to the Lord, who rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and of Pharaoh, and who rescued the people from the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all other gods, for he did this to those who had treated Israel arrogantly." Then Jethro, Moses' father-in-law, brought a burnt offering and other sacrifices to God, and Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat a meal with Moses' father-in-law in the presence of God. Exodus 18 verses 10-12. Even though Jethro is not an Israelite, he serves as an example of a Gentile that the people of Israel accept with respect. Jethro embarks on a spiritual journey, ultimately recognizing the kingdom of God and contributing to Israel by establishing an organized legal system. It happens when Jethro accompanies Moses to observe his work. Throughout the day, from morning until evening, Moses acts as a judge, presiding over the Israelites while standing on his feet. He understands that the current method isn't effective, and if Moses continues down this path, he will collapse, and it will make it challenging for him to address the flood of problems that are coming his way. Jethro proposes a new management approach to Moses. He teaches Moses what all leaders should understand, the art of delegating authority. He advises Moses that his primary responsibility is to maintain a direct connection with God and to bring the people's disputes before him. Moses should then take God's instructions and pass them on to the people, guiding them on how to lead their lives and behave. However, in order to accomplish this, Moses needs to select individuals from the people of Israel who possess specific qualities. They should be wealthy, trustworthy, and free from greed, ensuring that their words can be relied upon. They should handle simple cases and bring the more challenging ones to Moses. This will help Moses have more time and assist in the nation's development. Moses agrees to the offer and starts implementing it right away. Moses is the one who will give the laws to the people and maintain a direct connection with God. The concept of dividing power between the lawmakers and the judges was also suggested by Jethro. Moses creates the laws, and the judges ensure they are followed. Jethro's smart idea aimed to ease the burden of judgment on Moses. But it had significant long-term effects in establishing a structured legal system for the people of Israel. Jethro is also mentioned in the book of Numbers before the Israelites enter Canaan. Moses invites his father-in-law to join the Israelites, but Jethro chooses to return to his own country and homeland. Now Moses said to Hobab son of Reuel the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, we are setting out for the place about which the Lord said, I will give it to you. Come with us and we will treat you well, for the Lord has promised good things to Israel. He answered, No, I will not go, I am going back to my own land and my own people. But Moses said, Please do not leave us. You know where we should camp in the wilderness, and you can be our eyes. Numbers 10:29-31. Even though Moses asked Jethro to join them as they journeyed through the desert, Jethro, who was experienced in desert life, declined. The chapter ends without explicitly saying what happened to Jethro. Later in the book of Judges, we come across the Jethro family again. In the book of Judges chapter 1, the Kenite, who is known as Moses' father-in-law's tribe, are mentioned as settling on the southern border of Judah, specifically in the Arad area. The descendants of Moses' father-in-law, the Kenite, went up from the city of palms with the people of Judah to live among the inhabitants of the desert of Judah in the Negev near Arad. Judges 1 verse 16. Jethro's story doesn't end in the Bible, it continues in the Muslim world through the Quran. In the Quran, Jethro is known as Shu'aib, the prophet of the city of Midian. Nabi Shu'aib is the most important prophet for the Druze community, wise and religious. Now, considering all that's been mentioned, let's pause for a moment and contemplate what can be achieved in 40 years and the knowledge we can achieve during this time. Perhaps through this reflection, we can better grasp the profound connection that developed between Moses and Jethro. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. You can share with us what you know by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. Thank you so much and see you next time.